So I thought I'd share the top 5 tips and tricks that I learned along the way. The things that helped me come back faster, stronger, and better. Hi, I'm Haley, in case you're new here, and I've had 4 major injuries in the past year. Ridiculous, I know, but somehow, some way, I've come out stronger every single time. Now, I'm no doctor, okay? But at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that I am a damn good patient. I've become quite, dare I say it, good at being injured, or at least at coming back from injury. A full 12 months of practice will do that to a person, let me tell you. It's windy. I'm gonna wait for the wind. So I thought I'd share the top 5 tips and tricks that I learned along the way. The things that helped me come back faster, stronger, and better. And spoiler alert, tips numbers 4 and 5 are the best. So stick around. And yes, we're outside. The weather here in Vegas is absolutely beautiful at the moment. So yeah, I thought we could walk and talk today. But before we get into the real meat and potatoes, I'm going to tell you about the 4 injuries that I acquired over the past year and the things that I did during and since. That should give you a pretty good idea of what happened to me and what I made out of it. And hopefully it'll show you that I have some know-how in this area, earned by the brutal reality of my personal experience. Because trust me, I would not have chosen the course of events that has occurred over the last 12 months. But if I can use my experience to help somebody else, that would make me really happy. It's windy again. Oh, and I've made sure to chapter this video, so if you do want to just skip ahead to the tips, feel free to do that. And, if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or subscribe if you haven't already. Why, you ask? Because it directly affects how many people YouTube shows my videos to. And the more people who see them, the bigger of a positive impact that they can have. Or, that's my hope. Okay, let's go for that walk. Okay, it's so beautiful. First up, my injuries and the things I've done since. As I said earlier, I have had 4 major injuries in the last year. Injury number 1. I broke my pinky toe in May at the start of my sport climbing season, running inside my apartment like a fool. I clipped my toe on the edge of a door frame and snapped the bone. Yeah. So as you can probably imagine, that resulted in intense pain and 5 weeks of 0 climbing, followed by another maybe 4 weeks of top rope climbing only in a big, oversized, flat trad shoe. Second injury in the last year, I hurt my finger in 10 sleep, falling in the river. Dr. Tyler Nelson diagnosed it as a grade 2 collateral ligament sprain in my DIP joint. That meant another 3 weeks of no climbing, followed by a lot of weeks spent working around that injury. No open hand, no dead points, you get the idea. Injury number 3. I hurt my knee in December at the very start of my boulder season. First by hitting it on a rock while I was climbing, and then by moving pillows around in a bed later that day. Yes, you heard that right. And if you're interested in more details on that ridiculous injury, check out my previous video. I'll put it up here somewhere. That injury was diagnosed by my PT as a medial patellofemoral ligament sprain. Luckily, this one was only 2 weeks without climbing, but months of movement restrictions and falling restrictions afterward. And let me tell you, not being able to fall onto pads in boulder season makes climbing outside very hard, and also very not fun. And that brings us to injury number 4. Yay! This one just in. In March, yes, this just happened, I injured my knee heel hooking in the gym. Lame. Same knee, new injury. My PT says that they're unrelated, And we're not exactly sure what it is yet, but some kind of hamstring strain for sure, with possible LCL and or meniscus involvement. So I'm sure I don't need to tell you how much all of this has sucked. Like, it sounds like a really bad movie, but it's my real life. Anyway, during all of these injuries, I worked my absolute ass off. And over the last 8 months or so, I've done some things that I'm actually really proud of. So I'm going to share them with you to demonstrate just how much you can do even when things are totally going off the rails. This is kind of weird to talk about on camera. Oh well, I'ma try. Allow me to consult my notes here. I upped my onsight grade to 12A in August. I upped my red point grade to 12D in October. In a 2-week sport climbing trip to the New River Gorge, I sent a 12C, a 12B, a 12A, and 2 notoriously sandbagged 11Ds. Not 11D. I increased my strength metrics across the board and became visibly more muscular, which is sick. And I improved my board climbing, which has been a big weakness. Thanks, knee, for making it super hard to climb outside. I gotta say, I haven't had the chance to realize the gains that I made during my first knee injury outside just yet, because, you know, I got another knee injury immediately afterward. But it's only a matter of time. I've been improving this whole time, and I intend to continue to do so, despite literal months of couch time. 3 of my 4 injuries made me unable to walk, like literal couch time. So I must be doing something right here. Right? Okay, now that we've covered my injuries and the things that I've done since, let's get into it. Here are my top 5 tips to get through injury and come out the other side stronger. Number 1. See a climbing medical professional if you can. Whatever kind of medical professional you need to see for your injury, try and make it somebody who climbs, if possible. And if they're specifically oriented towards treating climbers, even better. But at a minimum, look for somebody who at least climbs themselves, because their understanding of the demands of the sport is going to be orders of magnitude greater than somebody who doesn't climb. Seriously, I can't overstate the importance of this. You'll likely get a more accurate diagnosis, better advice around returning to sport, and your rehab will actually cater to climbing. And if anybody tells you to take months off point blank, that's a huge red flag. Because what you need your body to do as a climber is pretty different to the demands of the general population. And if you don't have a suitable provider locally, I know that both Dr. Natasha Barnes and Dr. Tyler Nelson take remote consults. I've linked both of their details below, and just so you know, I'm not affiliated with them in any way, I just think that they're good. Number 2. So I'm a total dum-dum, and I either forgot to record tip number 2 or I accidentally deleted the footage. So yeah, we are in my apartment, as you can see, just temporarily for point number 2, and then we'll go back to Red Rock. Number 2, control what you can control and let go of what you can't. There's no way around it. Being injured sucks. It just does. And you can't control the fact that something happened to you, or at least not anymore, because it's already happened. But you can control how you react. Adopting this mindset is really, really helpful for coming out the other side better and stronger. It's important to accept the reality of your situation and let yourself be sad about it, but not so much so that you just spend your entire recovery time wallowing in self-pity. Because these things are not mutually exclusive. You can be sad that you're injured and ready to make the absolute most out of your situation at the same time. What you believe about yourself has a huge impact on your reality, like in climbing and in life. So if you believe, and I mean really believe, that you can face this thing head on and overcome it, that's huge. Okay, back to Red Rock. Number 3. Do everything that you can, but also don't do too much. This is perhaps the most frustrating part of being injured. You want to do everything that you possibly can, to get better as soon as possible, but simultaneously, you have to make sure to not do too much. With the vast majority of climbing injuries, you will be able to do some things, and if you want to actually make progress while you're injured, it's important to figure out what those things are and also your limitations within them. Let's take a finger injury as an example. That's one of the easiest things to train around. You can do lower body stuff. You can do upper body stuff. You probably won't be able to, say, deadlift with grip strength alone. But if you use lifting straps, you can probably deadlift pretty heavy. You probably won't be able to do weighted pull-ups, but you probably will be able to do something like a lat pull-down, again, using lifting straps. See where I'm going with this? It is possible to find the things that you can do and then modify them to suit your current limitations. Personally, I normally do single leg RDLs as part of my regular training, but it currently hurts to straighten my leg. As I'm filming this, I hurt my knee 3 weeks and 1 day ago. So, I'm very much still in the thick of it, but I'm still doing my RDLs, just carefully. Instead of just balancing, I hold on to something for balance. I dropped from 5 sets to 3, and instead of using a 55-pound dumbbell like I normally would, I went all the way back down to body weight. Then, when that felt okay, I added a weight back in, but only 25 pounds to start with, so significantly less than the 55 I was doing before. You see, I'm modifying the thing by any means necessary.
By any means necessary.
To make it a possibility for me to do now, instead of at some point in the future when I can do it in the form that I normally would.
No problem.
It's an ego check, for sure, but it will definitely get you on track sooner. Also, I just have to say, I'm talking about once you're past the initial, acute stage of injury. Right after the injury happens, there's usually a period anywhere from 2 days to 3 weeks or so where you just want to leave the thing alone. So, during that time, leave the thing alone. And again, I am not a doctor, just talking from my personal experience. 3.5? Bonus tip, don't go into debt. Or debt. I have a quick analogy to share here, one that helps me make good decisions. Doing too much is like going into debt, and debt comes at a cost. When you do too much, whatever that means for you, you're borrowing from the capacity of your future self. Do too much today, and you'll have to do less tomorrow. And if you really overcook it, you'll have to do less for multiple days to come. That's the price of borrowing. Personally, I want to pay as little as possible. And that means not borrowing tissue capacity. I want my health and my ability level to trend upward over time, as opposed to spiking and crashing. And overall, taking this approach means that I will be healthier sooner. And that's the most important thing for me. So when I'm tempted to do too much, and you'd best believe that I am constantly, I think about this. I like to tell myself, nothing is the best thing that I can do right now. It often doesn't feel that way. I want to send the problem, finish the workout, lift the weight, whatever it is. But it's only hurting future me, just like debt often does. So I try to help future me instead, and walk away, at least most of the time. Editing Haley here just to clarify this a little bit. I think we're all so used to training and to trying hard and putting in the work. And when you're healthy, that absolutely is the key to progression. But progressing through injury isn't about pushing. It's about holding back. So it's really a fundamentally different way to look at it. And yes, of course, there are similarities between the two. But I've found it really helpful to approach training with my foot on the gas pedal and rehab with my foot on the brake, if that makes sense. Number 4. Find the opportunity in your injury. You're injured. You don't want to be injured. And I get it. I'm also injured, and I don't want to be injured either. And yet, here we are. This is my biggest and most important tip. Find the opportunity that your injury is giving you. Make this time count. For me, injury is almost always a chance to acquire some more physical strength. Let me explain. When I'm climbing, I only strength train once every 7 to 10 days or so, because climbing is my priority. I do get stronger with this volume, but slowly. And I'm okay with that. I'm busy climbing and working on my movement skills. So when I get injured and I can't climb, like right now, that's an opportunity to get stronger. because there's only so much capacity that any one person has to train and to be able to recover from that training. For me, being injured is an opportunity to redirect some of my capacity into the strength part of climbing training as opposed to the climbing part of climbing training. And it could be the same for you, or it could be very different. A finger injury is a great time to practice slab climbing. An upper body injury could give you the chance to build real power in your legs. A lower body injury might be a chance to really dial in your finger training. And these things don't just disappear once you've recovered. Aside from the obvious benefits of having just improved that skill or strength, you'll also have learned a lot about how to acquire whatever the thing is that you were working on. Take finger training. In that time, you could have figured out the protocol that actually works best for you, and that's something that you can now integrate into your regular training. See what I'm saying? Time and capacity creates real opportunities. You just have to identify yours and take it. Number 5, follow the psych, wherever it may lead you. Sometimes injuries open doors to new things, if you're willing to let them. After my first knee injury, I returned to climbing pretty quickly, but I couldn't fall. And I proceeded to bash my head against the wall for a good 6 weeks or so, with a series of outdoor sessions that just sucked. That injury was during boulder season here in Vegas. Turns out it's pretty hard, or impossible, to boulder outside if you can't fall onto the pads. And eventually I was like, what if I just focused on board climbing for now? Boards are indoors, they have perfectly flat landings, they are not tall at all. As far as falling limitations go, they're kind of perfect. And I'm really, really bad at board climbing. Prior to this year, I hadn't spent a whole lot of time working on it, mostly just because I have to rest a lot between board sessions. But hey, what better time to have to rest a lot than when you're injured anyway? And as I started to climb on a board more, to my extreme surprise, I started to get really psyched on board climbing. And for context, I previously felt about boards as most people feel about slab. Yuck. So, given the space to do so, I fell in love with board climbing. And that, my friends, is crazy to me. I'm sure it's going to be great for my climbing going forward, because board style climbing has always been a glaring weakness of mine. The point here is to follow the psych. Lean into whatever it is that takes your fancy, even if it's a huge departure from your norm. And with the nature of injuries, it's actually pretty likely that it will be. And that's a real big opportunity for your climbing. Not only while you're injured, but once you've recovered too. I'm gonna take my newfound desire to board climb with me once I'm healthy again. And the gains that I'll get from that are very likely to outweigh whatever I lost with that first knee injury, the one that inspired the board climbing. I wouldn't have developed this actual genuine psych for board climbing if I hadn't gotten that injury. And that is the beauty of injury. Not that it's fun, I mean, not by a long shot, but it absolutely can be a net positive. 4 back-to-back injuries deep, I'm living proof of that. And finally, because this is a YouTube video, I just have to say this. Along with the climbing positives I got from my injuries, I got a big life positive too. This. You. All the time that I spent not climbing was time that I could spend on YouTube, on upgrading from shooting on my phone to shooting on a real camera, on improving my editing skills, on thinking of video ideas and planning those ideas out, like this very video that you're watching. I have so many ideas for this channel, beyond just vlog content. I want to use all the experiences that I've had to make useful and informative videos that can help other people. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that freaking button already. This past year has been really, really hard, but it's been absolutely wonderful too. I hope that if you're suffering from an injury, you can come out the other side better for it. And maybe, just maybe, this video will help with that. If you liked it, let me know in the comments below. I love hearing what you guys think. And if you found this video useful, you might like this one too. It's called 10 Tips for Fear of Falling, and it's all about, you guessed it, how to climb without being scared. Thank you so much for watching and for all your lovely comments. You guys are the absolute best. I'll see you next time.